Hey guys, welcome to Civil War Day 3. Previously, we talked about the Battle of Antietam, which was the North's first big win, I guess. Technically, it's a win. Remember, it was the bloodiest day of the Civil War, but Lee had to retreat. Of course, McClellan could have stopped him from retreating and could have ended the war, but he didn't because he was too cautious. Anyway, so in 1863, so by the way, the war started in 1861 with the firing on Fort Sumter and the Battle of Bull Run. It's now 1862. In fact, Antietam was about September. Well, not about, it was in September of 1862. So after that win, Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation. And the Emancipation Proclamation technically didn't free any slaves. Because notice here it says, in the Confederacy. Okay, how can you're at war with them, how can you tell them what to do? You can't. Okay? Of course, Lincoln's not a stupid guy, he knows that, okay? Abraham Lincoln, you idiot, didn't free any slaves. Yeah, he knows that. It has other ramifications, right? It has other effects. So here's what it does, okay? It gives the North something to fight for, other than just we're fighting and dying to keep the South from seceding. Nope, they weren't like that. He's running around crazy. He's bored. Britain and France had considered helping the Confederacy more than just building ships for them and giving them guns. That's what they had been doing. But they were considering helping us by, I say us because we're in Texas, so usually I refer to the South as us because we live in the South. But anyway, they were considering declaring war on the Union because Britain and France, they view the United States as like a rival. So if they can split the United States into two different countries, that makes the United States less powerful. So anyway, but Britain had an army up here in Canada, and if you can imagine the Union having to fight the South over here and the British up in Canada, it would help the South out a whole lot. So, but once they make the war about slavery, Britain and France were like, oh, that's what you're fighting for, South? You're fighting to keep slaves? Yeah, we don't want to touch that. That makes us look bad, you know. So Britain and France decide not to help the Confederacy. And then, of course, slavery is helping the South by producing cotton and crops and stuff. So when he declares the Emancipation Proclamation, a lot of slaves in the South decide to run away. Like now that they know that they're free, they try harder to escape. Excuse me. So yeah, and the reason why he doesn't just say we're freeing the slaves in the United States, like the 13th Amendment does later, is because these red states here, Missouri, Kentucky, Maryland, and Delaware were all technically slave states, but they hadn't left the Union. They were still part of the United States. So he didn't want to make them mad by freeing the slaves in their states. He's like, we'll wait till the war's over to do that. So right now he just says, oh, we're freeing the slaves in the Confederacy, not Missouri, Kentucky, Maryland, or Delaware. So anyway, next topic is the draft. Okay, even with a higher population, because the North is kind of losing, they have lost almost every battle because of the leadership of the South. Robert E. Lee is outnumbered in every battle, but he's winning, technically. He lost Antietam, yeah, but there's so many battles we haven't talked about that Lee won. Anyway, so the North is getting kind of tired of fighting. So Lincoln has to resort to a draft. That's what conscription means. It means the same thing, basically, where you're forcing people into the army, right? He tried the carrot, right? If you hear of the carrot and the stick, it's two ways to get a donkey to do something. The carrot is something good, right? He offered extra money for signing up for the army, but even that's not working anymore. So the stick is something bad, right? If it's a donkey, you have to hit the donkey to get it to go. So he's forcing people into the army. And a lot of Northerners, once again, people always say, oh, the North hated slavery. And then why are they going crazy when you tell them they have to fight to free the slaves. You know, they start attacking abolitionists and stuff in the North. So, yeah. So the worst draft riot is in New York. I'm not telling you to go watch the movie because it's rated R for a reason, right? I wish we could watch it in class, but we can't. But Gangs of New York with what's his name, Leonardo DiCaprio. It's a great movie. It's got bad stuff in it, but at the end of the movie, the big fight scene between the good guy and the bad guy happens in the middle of the draft riot during the Civil War. They have to send army units. They have to send the army to go stop the draft riot in New York. It gets so out of control. So, anyway. All right, and then lastly, I'm just going to mention some minority soldiers who received the Medal of Honor. William Carney was this guy. He was an African American soldier. He joined the 54th Massachusetts, which, if we were in school, we would watch the movie Glory, which is about the 54th Massachusetts. If your parents want to rent it or buy it on Amazon or something like that, it's a good movie. I don't know if it's on Netflix. It was at one point, I think. Anyway, so it's a good movie. It's got Matthew Broderick in it. It's got Denzel Washington, Morgan Freeman. It's a really good movie. You should watch it. Yeah. Anyway, but the 54th Massachusetts was a colored regiment. It was made up of all African Americans. The officers were all white, so like the colonel and the major and all the captains and lieutenants and stuff were all white, but the soldiers were all African American, and they attacked a fort called Fort Wagner in South Carolina. If you go back and I don't know if you're going to do this, but if you go back and look at the map of Fort Sumter, Fort Wagner is a fort that kind of defends Charleston Harbor as well. So they attacked it, and I want to say he got the Medal of Honor for grabbing the flag and rallying the regiment. Right? That's why they had the flags. Is that it was like something you could see to tell the men to gather together. So I think he grabbed the flag and was like, rally. Anyway, so he got the Medal of Honor for that. He was wounded. Tragically, and I didn't know this until some students did a research project. I assigned different people and stuff from the Civil War to different students, and he died in an elevator accident. It was really horrible. I think his leg got caught in the door or something like that. It was really horrible. I was like, wow, to survive a battle and then go out like that, that's really terrible. But anyway, Philip Bazar was Hispanic. He was from Chile. And he delivered messages during the Civil War. I think it was Wilmington, North Carolina. Yeah, where he got his Medal of Honor. So, anyway, all right, that is Civil War Day 3. I'm not going to have any extra videos this time about battles. So, thank goodness. But anyway, so, all right, guys, y'all take it easy and stay safe. Welcome back.